Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Facebookers, YouTubers, wonderful mountaineers. Again, you don't like that? Change it. None of you guys want to give a cool nickname to you. It's alright. You don't want to admit? That's fine. You guys like these. That's why they're still going. Today, we have probably one of the most unique guests. He's not quite hip-hop, not quite rap, not quite EDM, not quite industrial. He's a bit of a hodgepodge of awesomeness. We got the one, the only, B0des.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on.
Yeah, it's an honor. We got the one and only Adam as well, right? Doing the biggest platinum fan in the world, probably.
So. Like, honestly, if you guys don't, B0des is kind of like a Jay Lively. He's like me. This guy really supports a lot of you. If you don't recognize him, I guarantee you he's been to a ton of your guys' shows. So, give a shout out to him for he supports this scene tremendously. I can tell you that right now. If there's one guy that gives so much love to this scene, even though some controversial thoughts aside, his heart's always there.
Yeah, it's all about home base. You gotta start with home base. Clean up your room first, right? So, yeah.
I mean, I met him at a local show and hadn't even seen him perform outside of live from Studio C, and just the coolest cat around town. Me and him always bullshitted at every show we seen each other at. So, let's just dive into this. Speaking of home base, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Ponca Hills, North O, represent Omaha North High. I want to start off right now. I heard King ISO is from North High. I never even realized that. Is that true? Could someone fact check that?
It is.
It is true. And Ashton James as well, right?
Yep.
So we're all Vikings. We're all North High alumni.
Tilly was a freshman when ISO was a senior at North High.
Okay, word. Yes, yeah, I graduated 2000.
So I believe I have confirmation on that. If that is not true, please do fact check. But Tilly said so. So
it works for me. I believe
if I'm wrong, we blame it.
I believe
gay
it too.
fish.
And
so reference to that, Tilly dropped one of his favorite collabs would be with Kanye West. His character's dressed up like a South Park guy, so I asked him if he liked fish sticks.
Nice.
He goes, yeah, I like fish sticks. So then I asked him if he's a gay fish. It's awesome. If you guys haven't seen that interview, go watch it.
Tilly's North High too, then.
Yep.
Okay. See, so y'all know about North O. You know that's where we're from, and yeah, Brad is from Ponca as well, and you know we're just trying to get Ponca to pop. It's like way overdue. So yep.
If you guys don't know where that's at, that's over by the Mormon Bridge. Mormon Cemetery too. Yeah.
That's a good cemetery.
I think everybody's been there at one point in elementary school. That's like that and Fontenelle Forest.
Yep.
Here are the two things in Omaha that are easy to get to.
And low key, there's some really beautiful stuff too that I'm not going to mention right now because I actually want to keep it a little bit of a secret. But if y'all want to see a side of Omaha that you would never imagine, and we got spots that look like California. You just gotta open your eyes and connect with the right people to show you where those gates are.
There's some super nice RV parks just over there.
There might be that too.
Well, they overlook the river and stuff.
Yeah.
You rent a plot, leave your RV there all summer, dude, and they're pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like you just get to go out there, and it's the clean part of the river before the sewage treatment, so it's not so bad.
That RV life is where it's at right now. I actually think that's the way of the future, but that's a whole nother discussion. So.
All right. So growing up North Omaha, going to North High.
Yep.
I'm guessing that's kind of how you got into music.
I would say I played piano a little bit for like a couple months when I was like age 9. I gotta show it. This is my grandpa, Gramps, Buddy Graves. That's what it's all about. We're a jazz family. Graves Record is my imprint label, and Graves is my grandfather's last name, and you know, so I played piano a little bit at like age 7, 8, 9, something like that. It didn't click. I didn't understand it. I gave it up, and you know, I really upset my family because they were counting on me to be the one to carry music forward. My grandpa even said it like right when I was born. He's like, he's the chosen one, and then it never happened. But then
he gets on my porch and he's fingering my piano that's on my porch.
Exactly.
By the way.
I gotta tickle them ivories, and then
that's the whole reason I've never moved it in. Dude, it's because almost every one of you guys that come over play with it. And my daughter's getting real good.
Yeah.
So,
you need to get tuned. You can't play more than one note at a time on that thing because it's out of tune with itself.
bro, I got one hand. It's impossible to move it, and tuners
I'll
are
help you move it.
expensive.
I'll help you move it and tune it. And so yeah.
People are expensive tuning. You know how to tune it?
I mean, I got my ways, and shout out Travis Finch. He's got one of my old school pianos, one of my early pianos, and Travis Finch. He's holding that for me. I hope he still's got it. You know what I'm saying? Like
He's over there on the board with wings.
Oh, sick! Yeah, like hopefully Finch, you ain't fucking thrown that thing in the dump yet or anything, because I'm hoping to keep that thing going. But anyways, like started a little bit of piano. It didn't click. I sucked. Gave up on that, and then like age 21, in college, I was actually a professional video game player briefly. Went to tournaments and shit for that, and then I started dabbling in the marijuana. Right, and then I started freestyle rapping with my homie Brandon Moreau, who I shouldn't even be daring to say his name, but shout out Brandon Moreau. If you know that's not a name you even want to say, probably, because look out. And Brandon Moreau, we used to all be kicking it, and Noise Wave would swing through, and all them cats would get freestyling, and Sorrell was like the sickest freestyler I ever heard. And I would maybe get like one line in here or there and just feel so good about, damn, I just said like some Street Fighter 2 line or something, and it would make me feel so good. And so then like Zach was like freestyling a lot with like Jamaz and shit back then, and we would just listen and be blown away. Jamaz was like a young Tech 9 back then, and then AP, you found out why they call him Rowdy J back then, and that was a wild time. And then like Noise Wave had did their real controversial shit back then, and that was also an inspiration to me. Just the audacity of them motherfuckers, and so like I took
Say
that
hi
to heart.
to Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even want to say it. So it's like that audacity, that swag, that
Funny
all
story about
imprint.
Say Hi to Jimmy. I was 21, got into a bar fight. Cops come and arrest me, and they're just being dicks. And I told the one, I said, I hope you get to say hi to Jimmy soon. Newsflash, 2007, they still remembered that song, and he whooped the shit out of me.
Yeah,
Like, I got he took boots to my face, to my chest. I had a boot imprint. My wife at the time, she's still my wife now, but we were dating at the time. She got pictures of it still. And lesson learned, don't ever say that to cops when you're in handcuffs.
Right, yeah.
They will win.
You might have deserved it, no offense, but
Shout out Noise Wave. Thanks for getting my ass whooped, for letting me think I was such a hardcore punk rocker fucking bang boy and got the shit whooped out of me. That changed my perspective on that song.
Yeah, so then, okay, almost.
So you did your job if you were wondering if it dug at cops.
Oh yeah, it did. It definitely was a wound. And so then, okay, that's kind of the mid phase, right? Like that was when I learned to appreciate freestyle, but I didn't have no technical ability. And then fast forward like 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, I'm 28, and I'm kind of, seeing more than one woman at a time, not living in an honest way, becoming a liar, dropping mushrooms with strippers and shit. And then you can hear about it on the track Afraid. That's kind of like a biographical track. And then once I had my first manic psychotic break, that was when I realized like I got to pick that piano back up. And so then it's been all music ever since. I started off 8 hours a day.
Strippers roast beef.
Right,
on mushrooms would probably make me have a psychotic break too.
Yeah, see, and
not knowing if you're at the strip club or if you're at Arby's.
Right, yeah, I was in that, you called it, I was in that very like elevated mind state, and no offense to strippers, I got a lot of love for strippers, they helped me a lot, okay, but I'm just telling you, like,
career's a career.
Exactly, but having said that, the mind state I was in, I wasn't being a good person. I was lying, I was double timing, triple timing people, and so like, after that, I realized, like, why am I putting all this time into the wrong shit? I'll put it all into piano. I practice piano like 8 hours a day. I met my teacher. His name is Nick Semrod. If Omaha, Nebraska, dear God, if you don't know who Nick Semrod is, please look him up. He plays with Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles. If you don't know who Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles is, How about looking up a guy named, like, I don't know, Stevie Wonder, because you're about one fucking level away from that at that point. And we got cats like that from Omaha, and we don't even realize. So I'm also here to tell you, stop sleeping on your own homegrown talent. You know, Nick goes off to New York City. He goes off to L.A. Why? Because we don't appreciate our gems around here.
Didn't I tell you we got a guy that supports the local scene a lot? It's not just hip-hop and rap, guys. You know, we had the Scabby Ghouls on here for punk rock. We have a tremendous music scene.
Yeah, we do actually, and then, like, I guess that's the kind of way to finish my little background is, like, I'm sorry, Omaha, I did sleep on this city a long time because I was just sitting in my basement obsessing on my shit, and then, like, I didn't really come out the basement until I dropped my debut album, which is this guy right here, and then that kind of forced me to have to give a shit about my scene, you know, so I'm sorry for neglecting it back then, but I have tried to make up for that neglect now, you know, because truth be told, I want to get heard, right? So give appreciation to receive appreciation, right? So, yeah, that's sort of my background.
So then, coming from musical background, jazz influence, we definitely hear a whole lot in your music. One of my favorites, I've even messaged him telling him that certain songs of his would be perfect if you were peaking on mushrooms. And ideally, look, mushrooms and strippers. Ha!
Even better.
See, so I wasn't wrong when I had that feeling when you listen to it, because it is definitely trippy stuff, but it is fun stuff. The White Bill Hicks.
I'm glad you started with that one.
I really dig that. I think that was actually one of the first tracks I heard outside of your live from Studio C performance.
Sick.
Shout out Comatose Sam Roca. Again, live from Studio C. Sam,
Yes.
that's why I show you love. That's how I met B0des and Brad and just so many other artists. And you are doing wonderful things with Live from Studio C. And from the bottom of my heart and half these other artists, we are thankful.
Hell yeah.
Because even half of you guys that weren't on that, I found you because you've done work with the people that were on that.
Yeah,
so
that was a
again,
tremendous...
seven ways to Surreal, 7 ways to Sam. You know, we can play that game with both of them guys, and you're direct on both of them. So that's dope as shit. With learning the different instruments and different synths and stuff, when did you decide to actually do your first album? When did that come about?
Yeah, so it started off more just piano. I wanted to learn music theory. It started off more as like kind of a pure thing and not an ego trip. It kind of just started off as like, hey, this is something that make my grandfather happy. And okay, the ego side in the beginning was just like probably easier to get laid having a talent like playing piano in video games. No offense, gamers. Like, but
awesome thing is that you mentioned that though as a professional gamer. We also have a local artist that moved out to Rhode Island, I think, or Connecticut, or East Coast somewhere. Shook One was a professional video gamer. He was on MTV True Lives as a professional gamer, and now he games, raps freestyle while he's gaming on Twitch, and he makes good money. He's buddies with Galvanized Tron.
Okay.
And Tron was on there. My first show that I seen of some local talent that I had no idea of that I fell in love with. They opened for MC Chris.
Word.
Nerdcore.
MC Chris is... Okay, I gotta do my gamer shout out real quick. Another thing Nebraska's sleeping on. Do y'all realize DJ Wheat Marcus Graham is from Lincoln, and I believe he's living in Lincoln again. And do you realize he's co-founder of Twitch TV? Like, do you guys like? And I'm loosely,
live from Studio C's on Twitch now.
Exactly, and I'm loosely connected with Marcus.
And just so you know, Sam Comatose is making money playing old school video games on Twitch because we love them and we sit there and slap stickers. He made my face a beautiful sticker that says "Sam's the fucking man." Because guess what? Sam's the fucking man. Right.
That's all dope shit. And I just want to say that, you know, shout out 519. That was old school Quake shit. Shout out Fatality from Kansas City, back when I used to be a pro Quake player, and not more so Doom 3, but that's a different story. And what I just want to say, like, that's where my name B0des actually comes from. There was a dude named Bitch Slayer, and he gave me the name B0des. So it actually ties back to gaming, and I don't think I've ever even revealed that before. I wanted to grab my Super Nintendo cart at this point, but I got so many little tricks right here. Well, here we go. Look at that. Here's my 2 biggest inspirations right here. Super Metroid and Final Fantasy 2. Super Metroid actually directly correlates to some of the themes on the album. The album is like a phoenix transformation thing. Some people try to say my shit's misogynist. Stop being a dummy. Listen closer. My shit is about elevating the.
And by the way, Metroid is a female fucking
exactly
character.
Exactly.
Dicks.
Pay more attention, because I don't got no hate for anybody. No gender, no race, none of that shit. So pay attention. But yep.
And that's totally awesome, because one of my favorite non-local artists, who is kind of tie it back to the Super Nintendo. This is actually a Super Famicom logo.
Oh shit.
That's Megaran. Shout out. He's the official licensed Capcom rapper. Started out independent, was a school teacher. He reminds you a lot of J. Cole, or J. Cole reminds me a lot of him. Dope dude. So you guys think shit can't influence you and get you? He was just on Wrestle Talk. He's always on WWE. He's friends with Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods produces some of his records. You guys can go places if you think outside the box. And it's so dope that you're inspired, because I'm telling you, some nerdy shit will get you somewhere, and it ain't nerdy after you're done with it. You know,
right,
people won't even, people will hear it, but they won't think, oh, this motherfucker was playing video games. But
right, yep.
Inspired by video games. That's, you guys, I'm telling you, that's why I love rap and hip hop and music, because you can put anything you want in it and make it amazing.
And I want to just add to that. I was, going to tournaments and shit. I took that first-person shooter shit real serious, and real-time strategy, StarCraft 2. And I just want to say, like, the epiphany I had is like, okay, this is cool, and I'm having so much fun with it, but I could, maybe put that energy towards piano instead. And as it turned out, that was a way better idea. For me. For some of y'all, maybe video games is the main thing, but I'm just saying that, like, you can make that leap if you want. There's no limits. If you can compete in a video game, you can compete in anything. You can go spit with Mystical. Mystical's dope, by the way. It's, and fuck all the no limit haters, all right? And Mystical's dope. I just wanted to say that.
Morgan, that's like the 8th artist, bro.
You gotta love James
Started
Brown.
with Mr. Gates.
Look, you get hate on James Brown, and Mystical brought in that James Brown vibe. You know what I'm saying? So
That's why they did it on piano with that fucking. God damn, I forgot what movie it's in, but shake that.
Yes,
Tell me what you're working with, and they're doing the piano. You guys know what movie I'm talking about? Put it in the comments, because I can't think of it right now. That's dope as shit. That you really come from a video game background, and that inspires your music. When did you team? Have you always been a team with Brad?
Basically, yeah. So before I got into the rapping shit in a more serious way, back when I was just kind of freestyling, Brad had dropped a mixtape, super underground mixtape. Before he was Brad Sabbath, he was known as B0des, and basically he was on a mixtape of like 4 or 5 Omaha cats that we probably never even heard of. I think it was the B0des mixtape. Shout out Player Pat. But anyways, that was a mixtape, and in my opinion, I heard that shit. It was over like Lil Wayne beats and shit. It was that mixtape spirit.
I'm telling you, mixtapes are never terrible, guys. Some of that stuff is your best stuff, and 4 or 5 years later, you look back at that mixtape, and you can rework it into your stuff once you get a little bigger.
100%.
Don't be afraid of mixtapes, and don't diss shit on SoundCloud, because sometimes that's the only way Man, fuck you. That's how 21 Pilots blew up. It's on SoundCloud. So diss it all you want, but mixtapes are very fucking important.
Yes, and so like I heard Brad on that mixtape, and I'm biased obviously, but I heard him and he fucking killed it. He had this like white boy style that was not like anything anybody else was doing, and still to this day ain't Brad's style. I've never heard anybody even dare to attempt some of the shit he's doing. And I'm just waiting for people to realize, like, oh, because okay, I hate to bring up race, but it's harder in a way being a white guy, because it's like you got certain things if you want to try to be edgy, let's say you want to be that alpha male badass Billy badass energy, like, I'm sorry, I'm not really believing it from a lot of you white cats, and so Brad has found a way to bring in that macho shit and have it come off true and real. And so anyways, like I heard that on that B0des mixtape. I was like, damn, I was inspired. Like I can embody that energy too. And so that got my spark going. And then like right when I decided to make my album, my first feature had to be Brad. It had to be Brad. So yep.
And then from there, you guys just, because I see you together almost all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just a inseparable duo, which is awesome. Again, go look up Live from Studio C, B0des and Brad Sabbath. It is probably one of the coolest things you'll see. not only do you guys put on good music, you have an excellent stage presence that fits your music.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing some local talent can learn is a good stage presence will take you far. And you develop it into your music, correlate it with your music. And the best thing about B0des and Brad Sabbath is they bring in a lot of death and dark metal to it, which you don't see a lot. And the fact that you guys can tie it in and make it such a great show, you guys are like the Guar of local music almost.
Hell yeah,
you know?
cool.
So it's really cool to watch you. Comatose is another one that has a great stage presence with, you know, a persona. And I'm not saying all you guys go wear masks and dress up like abstract and stuff, because again, those gimmick styles do go pretty far for a stage presence. But B0des doesn't go up there all dressed up and stuff, but he
I almost did though. I almost did.
But he personifies it still.
Yeah, like, okay, so like this is a mask I got. Never performed in it, but it's actually shaped in my head. Look, I put it on. Look at that. I might do a show in it someday, and I was gonna bring in more of that theatrics early on in the project, but I didn't really want to. The music was meant to be more personal, and the mask was kind of me running away from revealing who I was, and I just decided at the last minute, fuck it, I might as well. And plus there was logistical problems with trying to perform in a mask. If y'all look up Ghostface, he talks about that. But you know, I had to kind of let that idea go because you know, it sucks. Like basically, like you mentioned White Bill Hicks. Check out White Bill Hicks and then Black Bill Cosby, and if you really try to analyze the lyrics, you'll realize like there's a reason why I was kind of running from the message I was putting out there. You know, I'm a paranoid dude. I think there's certain shit that if you say it and the wrong people hear it and they get triggered a certain type of way, they might try to put me on blast. And so, you know, I wasn't sure how I could share some of these pearls I have without having to deal with the backblast from it. And so I was like, well, I'll just go anonymous. But then in attempting to make this anonymous art, I realized it's literally impossible, that, in my opinion, to have an audience as an independent anonymous person. Now, if you're like Banksy and you have like secret funders and shit, then yeah, you could do it. But I didn't have no secret funding. All I had was me pushing myself, and so I had to dox myself, had to reveal myself on social media because it was the only way I could get a gig. It was the only way anybody could have ever heard from me. So, but yeah, I originally B0des was going to be a mass thing, and just so you know, the mass thing ties into transhumanism, and the art I have like actually ties into the B0des logo and shit. There's a whole message there. I brought this book right here. I'm hitting 100 topics, but transhumanism is a major concept in the B0des music, okay? And I'm not even trying to be here to say it's good or bad, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's something worth researching. I like that Elon Musk Neuralink shit. I like researching all that shit. And yeah, yep.
See, showing you guys, it's not all struggle raps. It's not all the best I am raps, and it's not all about smoking weed raps. Okay, there is
Although shout out weed.
and don't get me wrong, make your art and craft, guys. I just want to show you that if you're hitting writer's block, somebody fuck. That's why I don't rap. Somebody delves into spiritualism on things that you probably barely realize you're hearing, which is nice because then it subtly, you know, changes your subconscious, and that's awesome. Again, guys, concepts are an amazing thing. If you don't listen to a B0des album from start to finish, you're missing points.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. That's the main ad I wanted.
like the best part about B0des is you can put it in, listen it from track 1 to track 12 or track 11, 13, how many ever are on each one. There's only one on Spotify that I know of. And anyways, you don't skip them. You don't hit them on random or whatever. You'll probably hit it repeat because you want to listen to it twice, 3 times. But it's very important, guys, that when you do start listening to new artists, make sure you pick up that whole album and listen to it. Because sometimes you guys are pushing the wrong singles, and I have no problem telling you which one you should push. Because some of you guys have fire that, for some reason, sitting on a dusty shelf.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important when you first pick up and meet a new artist, play it through its entirety. B0des is going to be one of them ones. You play it, you're going to be like, damn, I just played it for 68 minutes, and I'm going to do it for another 68 minutes.
Hell yeah. Like, okay, and I got to say right now, I appreciate Adam this moment so much because 100% being real with y'all, I'm completely on the fence between on one side, kind of turn in my musical retirement, you know, because I'm trying to do other things in my life right now. I'm married. I'm trying to start a family. And then on the other side, going in bigger than ever and like just fuck it. I'll go independent, book my own shows and all this shit, right? So I don't know which way I'm going to go. It's that go big or go home moment for me. And either way, this is exactly the moment that needed to happen. Because, like, you know, I know that my shit's hard to hear with no context. It's kind of like got that, you know, too much going on at once thing. I'm a little bit, I've heard the critiques of my shit and some of them are fair. But if anybody's listening to this and taking the time to try to understand me, just know that's healing to me. Y'all are healing somebody in your community because I've been sounding the bell, I've been ringing the alarm, and I just want somebody to hear it. So yeah, thank you so much, man, for real. You know?
No, that's the important part about supporting you guys. Is like I've told you before, not only are you helping yourself by listening to music and feeling good, we help these artists by supporting them and listening to them. Whether or not it's buying merch or it's just hitting on up, hey man, I really like that album. It helped me out today. And then for them to hear that, it's like, nice, I'm not alone. And it's awesome because, I mean, that's the best part. Again, it can be any kind of message. And if you haven't heard the resounding part, everybody does this to feel good.
Yep.
So stop shitting on each other.
Yep.
Nobody's the best. Everybody just wants to feel good. And that's an awesome thing that we can be a part of. Remember that, you know, you're putting somebody's, you know, you're preventing the next Unabomber, you're preventing the next letter and anthrax, you're preventing the next school shooting, whether it be the guy listening to the music or the guy putting out the music. We're all mentally helping each other.
Yep.
And just remember that, you know, it's a share goes a long ways, guys.
Yep. Yeah, like and fuck all those chaotic motherfuckers. If you go do some chaotic shit, you're fucking up. I just want to say that. And oh, by the way, shout out my artist Josh Audis. He went actually to the Alex Gray Art Academy. He does a lot of psychedelic art, and I was very blessed to get him to do my album cover. You know, I'm hoping to continue working with him on the next one. And actually, oh, did I bring that? I wanted to show that thing my homie in the mental asylum drew the other day. That's okay. Oh, here it is. Speaking of art, I just got out the hospital. I had to go do another 10 days. You know, like, I'm trying to control my chaos still. I'm not perfect. But, met a guy in the mental hospital who drew me this. He only knew about my music shit for like 1 minute. He caught a vibe and he was an artist. So I said, hey, why don't you draw something? And that's what he drew. And this might be a little single cover or something right here. You know, I feel like we live in revolutionary times. And, you know, I don't ever mean to be too loud or confrontational, you know, and I hope, you know, once you see what I'm tapped into, you'll understand kind of why I'm freaking out over here. So, but that's a long way from Josh Audis. He does a lot of art for like curbside downtown, and I'm big into like abstract psychedelic art in general, you know, so yeah.
And this is definitely probably one of my favorite designs, just because it honestly embodes your music so well that you can tell. Abstract, two hands come together, meet in the middle. That's why you gotta listen from start to end.
Dude, I love that, and I didn't give him no advice. I said just listen to the album.
You can't just pull once. You can't just pick a song in the middle and not get the complete concept. And again, guys, singles are great, awesome. Conceptual albums, if you did not watch the interview with Comatose, is what his fans demanded. They lashed back on his singles last year. He said he's done doing that and got to go back to albums, you know. Because that's the thing, like with Comatose, it's a conception, it's an entire story. You know, you listen to it from beginning to end, and once you listen to the whole album, you feel like you watched a movie. Same thing with you. Once I listened to the whole album, I felt like I read 4 different types of books, which is awesome. Because if you spark an intellectual thought in somebody's head through your music, and the fact that it does that is amazing. And just the design alone tells you you're going to get something.
And I just want to say, I didn't tell him nothing on how to make that cover. I just gave him the album. I said, just listen to it and then make the first thing that comes out of your heart. You know what I mean? And that's something else I believe in. and like this is true even for like good promoters and shit. Is like don't try to micromanage the shit. Just connect the right pieces together and see what blooms from that. Right. The more you try to force something, then the more you're stifling that like God energy really coming out. So yeah,
that always goes back to the if you're told no by one person, there's 290 other people to tell you yes or no.
Yep.
You know, and if not, tell yourself yes.
Yep.
You know, like don't be afraid. Like open your mouth, speak up, talk. You know, it's goes a long way. So then, speaking of on the bridge, on the brink, fence, not knowing what you're doing, any thoughts of upcoming projects or?
Yeah, okay. So we just signed a new new instrumental producer to Graves, and his name is 6 Point. So he's got some projects coming out. I'm working with him. He's gonna be doing some collaborative projects. Me and him, hopefully, and Brad Sabbath are gonna make a group album, and so hopefully that comes into fruition. That group is called B0des, and then on the B0des side, I got a new solo album I'm working on. It's called OSO, Open Source Oppression, and it's about taking computer open source concepts and applying that to our fucking politicians and applying it to all these people running these control systems. I'm saying let's move openly. Let's say what we're even doing. And so basically, that album, I got the first single I just dropped. It features Vinco01. He's from Brussels. And you know, him
international
and
on that one. Nice.
So like, yeah, I got a little bit of an international audience, not like a big one, but you know, like a little cult like following. Go join our Discord if you want to get in on that. But you know, Graves is looking to be international, right, and kind of link up like-minded people. And yeah, so like one new B0des album. A group album with Brad and 6 Point, and then you know, maybe more Brad shit. I don't know. Brad, hopefully Brad will come on.
So
the
it
show
sounds
next,
like he's not on the fence and he's not retiring.
Well, I want to retire. I want to, but these people are you know, I mean, kind of telling me I gotta keep it going.
The demand's there.
Yeah, which is the best problem to have. You know, I'm very blessed to have that crossroads.
And hopefully, with the demand there, the passion stays.
Yeah, well, the passion's there too. It's just you know, it's just been kind of tough lately. Everybody knows about how tough things have been around lately. You know,
So then, we got upcoming projects talked about. We talked about your foray into starting. I want to just have a little fun. If you had 3 people you can make music with, they don't living, dead, anything you want to do, any genre. They don't have to sing. They can be your engineer, your producer. You can have somebody write a song for you. 3 people you'd like to work with.
MF Doom, #1. That's my hero. That's my main inspiration. I hope you can kind of hear his influence.
Caps.
All caps when you spell the man's name. R.I.P. Doom. Although I hope he's coming back. I hope he's pulling Elvis or something. I'm a believer. You know, Doom, Flying Lotus on the more instrumental side. That's another huge inspiration. And then a third, I kind of want to say like, you know, Danny Carey from Tool, right? Do a little far out jazz project with Danny Carey from Tool, maybe, and that'd be.
If you don't see a little Tool in this.
Yeah, Tool is like big influence on my shit. So yeah.
Your construction style of your instrumentals are definitely very Toolish.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
You know, not a total like. Okay, people, remember you can be inspired by people and sound like them and not be stealing their shit.
Yeah, exactly. Put your own spin on it. Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid that you sound like somebody else if it is your original. As long as you're not pulling Vanilla Ice and being like, you hear that little tss at the end, it's not under pressure. Fucker, you ruined the whole rap game for every middle-aged white people to take it serious. Like, now they all think all we do is rip other people's music and fucking don't give them credit.
I did like Ice Ice Baby though in 2nd grade. I must say that.
Everybody did. We all were Walkman lovers, wishing we were driving Lamborghinis. So then my next question, and this one is a good one to pick your brain because I'm very interested to hear what you're going to say on this. You're stuck with one song that you can only listen to. It's not necessarily on repeat, but anytime music plays, this is the one song that's going to play for the rest of your life.
It might have to be something very low key and vibey. Probably have to be the longest Flying Lotus track I could find. You know, whatever. I don't even know off the top of my head, but you know, if it's gonna be on repeat the rest of my life type thing.
He wants a 7-minute track.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like with any lyrics really, because you know it's gonna need to be more something I can not. Because like the problem with lyrics as a lyricist, you know, it's hard to like be productive while you got all these like dense concepts getting thrown at you. So it would have to be something instrumental, and I'd probably pick the longest Flying Lotus track.
You're the second person that picked an all instrumental track. Denise from Scabby Ghouls picked a all instrumental track. So I think that's awesome. I like that. So I have to say it because I got called out on it from Silent Chico, that dick. I'm not supposed to answer my own questions. This is not my interview. But mine, of course, is I Ran So Far Away by a Flock of Seagulls.
I mean, that's a good one, too.
Because guess what? The only thing in the 80s that was important was my birth and a flock of seagulls.
That's true. Okay, and then let me name
yes.
Let me name a vocal one, just to be fair. You know, on repeat, if it's got vocals. Oh, this will be fun. What's the first one that's going to pop up? I'm going to have to say Doom, off of Operation Doomsday. It's the one that's like, oh, you're like the sun, chasing all the rain. What is that? I hold the mic. He used to hold his girl tight. Now he after it's off Operation Doomsday. Gas Draws.
Look, you guys get a temporary cover on the Mountain Dew review.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember the name of the track right now because I got too many thoughts, but
Again,
definitely Doom.
you know the name of the track, drop it in the comments.
Yep.
So my final question, B0des.
Oh.
You're given 7 words to describe what you want to do with your music.
I wasn't ready for this.
No, because none of these ones have aired yet.
Oh, shit.
So this is a surprise question that nobody knows I ask.
Okay. 7 words to what?
7 words to describe where you want to go with your music.
Okay.
Or less.
Okay. Jazz, instrumental, piano, apocalyptic lyrics. I got 2 more. Peace and patience. That's 7 right there.
7. Last 2 are definitely the best ones.
Yep.
Well, I like jazz and piano too. Instrumental. I mean, all right, I'll take them. I accept that answer, B0des. And on that, I want to thank you so much for coming on the Mountain Dew review.
Bless you, man.
It's been my pleasure to have you. And as always, once you're on the Mountain Dew review,
man. I'm scared.
you officially become tramp stamp approved.
My first tattoo. It's my first tattoo. Brad probably has a tramp.
Stop.